East meets West on a rainy night in Montreal, a matchup of teams who have split their last 6 season series. It's the 5-2 BC Lions and the 2-5 Montreal Alouettes.
Josh Nicewinder out of Angelo State in west central Texas is the 5th quarterback to get his first career start in the 2013 season. On the other sideline, Travis Lulay is in his 51st start of his career as a starter for the BC Lions. The Montreal Alouettes, the only team he doesn't have a winning record against. He's 2-2 career.
Long trip, short week for Lions coach Mike Benavides, who was thrilled with the playoff intensity his team exhibited last Saturday against Calgary, guarding against a letdown tonight. And on the other sideline, Jim Popp 0-2 since returning to replace Dan Hawkins. The Alouettes losing a heartbreaker in Saskatchewan last week, a game that got away from them in the last couple of minutes, and 9 starters down with injury for the Alouettes. Montreal won the toss, deferred. They'll kick off, and Tim Brown awaits after a kick return touchdown a week ago against the Stampeders. We're underway, and it will be Brown from the 14-yard line. And Brown up to the 35, taken down by Ed Gainey.
Travis Lulay coming off a win for the Calgary Stampeders. Take a look at him. He's got 7 interceptions on the season, which is a bit of a concern for BC Lions fans back in BC. But he does have Andrew Harris, 28 catches, leads the Canadian Football League for running backs. And Nick Moore finding his stride again after returning. This is week 2 from returning from injury.
Our starters to watch brought to you by Napa Auto Parts, where custom advice comes standard. And right away, shotgun snap, and Lulay has to fish it back in at the 25-yard line. So rough start after a bad snap from the center, Matt Norman.
Yeah, Matt Norman a little hot, and it's been raining before the game, pouring as a matter of fact through the entire warm-up. That slipped right through his hands, but it had some speed on it. Usually they float that shotgun snap back. Matt Norman had a little bit of a fastball going back, and it slips through the fingers, so BC Lions in a hole early.
Offense for the Lions has declined the last 4 weeks. 286 yards against Calgary. That's a season low. Did score on their opening possession, however. And the pass for Harris is low as John Bowman turned the heat up. It's a very quick 2-and-out for the Alouettes.
Yeah, John Bowman leads the Montreal Alouettes in sacks with 4 on the season. And he's going to get that pressure on Travis Lulay right out of the gate. Of course, they're in a hole in second and real long, and Lulay just wanted to dump this off to Andrew Harris. Really didn't even have time to execute that.
So Paul McCallum to kick it away. Tyron Carrier, who had a punt return touchdown in the opening week. On the return, he'll get stacked up at the 40-yard line. Great punt cover by the Lions last week, holding Larry Taylor to 6 return yards.
Got some playing time, Josh Nicewinder against Saskatchewan Roughriders. First play of the second quarter, he entered the game when Anthony Calvillo left with a concussion, went 146 yards passing, 2 interceptions, no touchdowns. It's about 40%, but with guys like S.J. Green, I'm feeling Arlen Bruce is going to step up and have a big game with his young quarterback.
Bruce introducing himself this week to the quarterback after going without a catch last week against Saskatchewan. The toss to big Jerome Messam. They might lean on the big man in this game, and a strong opening run for Jerome Messam, close to a first down, up around the 50-yard line.
Yeah, that's Jerome Messam at his best. Just pounding it in there, getting that pad level down, and driving his legs. Jerome Messam replacing Brandon Whitaker, who's due back very soon. That single back formation gets that quick toss, get him wide and in space, and then watch how he lowers his shoulder pad level, takes on Adam Bighill, and picks up a few extra yards.
Messam with 15 carries, 54 yards last week against Saskatchewan. He had a 90-yard rushing game against the Argonauts. Tanner Marsh in the short yardage crew, and a lunge for the first down.
Take a look at the Lions' defensive starters to watch here tonight. I think Kareem Smith is going to go from tonight alone from the most underrated, or one of the most underrated players in the CFL, to one of the stars in the CFL. He's been that dominant throughout the year and that consistent, as has been Solomon Elamimian in the middle. He leads the Lions with 37 tackles, and Cord Parks leads a veteran secondary. The only rookie back there. He has 2 picks.
So first down for Nicewander, and the pass in the flat is incomplete. Trying to hook up with star receiver S.J. Green. Josh Bell in coverage.
5th time this year, Chris, we're going to introduce CFL fans to a brand new quarterback to the league. He's not brand new to Montreal. Been here 3 years. This is his 3rd, but this is who Josh Nicewander is. Went to Angelo State University, got his master's degree there in business administration, as well as a whole bunch of passing records for that school right in Texas.
And they're watching in Texas tonight. Mama Marissa, Dad Bruce on NBC Sportsnet, and they watch as Ryan Phillips has an interception, the 36th of his career. Nicewander threw a pair last week, and the veteran Phillips comes up with one early against Nicewander and the Alouettes. Lions football when we come back. The CFL on TSN is brought to you by Nissan. Innovation that excites.
Josh Nicewander off to a tough start here, throwing an interception to a guy who knows a thing or two about intercepting the football, and Ryan Phillips discussing things with offensive coordinator Doug Barry.
Early turnover gives the Lions the football at their own 51-yard line. And Travis Lulay pressured and down. He stays up and fumbles the football. He got back on it. Boy, it's been a mess on the first 3 Lions plays from scrimmage.
Well, this time it's blitz from the Montreal Alouettes. Marc-Olivier Bruyette comes right up the middle. He's playing for Kyrie Seber, and right in the middle of your screen, he's the guy who's going to shoot the gap, cause some early problems. Andrew Harris tries to pick him up along with safety Mike Edom off the edge. And Travis Lulay running for his life there. Let's go back to the interception. Show you Ryan Phillips up against Arlan Bruce. 2 former teammates going physical down the field, and Ryan Phillips wins this one, gets a little pull, comes inside. That ball thrown way too far inside by Nicewander.
Negative yardage on another first down play. It's 2nd and 19. Lulay dumps it off, and here's Andrew Harris back to the original line of scrimmage and up into Montreal territory. He'll step out short of the first down. Looks like they'll mark him at the 51, a couple of yards short.
Just trying to chip away here with Travis Lulay, trying to settle things down on the road in Montreal. He's going to go to Andrew Harris. He's got his fullback there too, Rolly Lumbalo, who's going to come out and get a nice block for Harris as they both release in the routes here. Watch 46 pick up Bruyette, and then Andrew Harris is allowed to get about 5-6 extra yards because of it, but still short of first down territory.
So McCallum on to punt. Carrier waits at the 10, and Glenn Johnson whistles play dead. Ready to go now as Johnson whistles play in. Paul McCallum looks for the corner. Flag on the play, and it's allowed to bounce into the end zone. Carrier will take a knee. So we'll sort out the flag on 3rd and 2. It would be a 57-yard single for Paul McCallum. And it's offside against Montreal. That's going to give the Lions a fresh set of downs.
New set of downs because it was only 3 yards.
Offside. Montreal, number 24. 5-yard penalty resulting in a first down.
3 yards to move the chains. A mental mistake by the Montreal Alouettes. A costly one.
Newcomer B.J. Scott, you can see him lined up. A foot offside.
Now that's a mistake that happens before the snap of the football, and there'll be a discussion there. That's like taking the wrong golf club out of your bag. You don't have a chance to make the green.
So the initial first down for BC comes by a penalty at the 46-yard line. Pass to Iannuzzi. The hitch, he gets spun around and drilled by Aaron Lavarius.
Take a look at the Montreal Alouette defensive starters to watch tonight. Chip Cox leads the league in tackles, 56, on a pace to beat J.C. Sherritt's record of a year ago. Former BC Lion Byron Parker out there on the corner gets reunited with his old teammates, and Marc-Olivier Brouillette, outstanding Canadian a week ago.
Alouettes leading the league in takeaways, and more problems prior to the snap of the football.
Procedure, BC number 54. 5-yard penalty, repeat, second down.
Right guard Dean Valley.
Early movement. He saw Marc-Olivier Brouillette out on the outside, looked like he might blitz, and he looked like he, from the guard position, had to come out of his stance quickly for protection purposes and go wide, and because of that, left a little early.
Brouillette, the Canadian Player of the Week. Big game in Saskatchewan. So second and long once again. Lule steps up, scrambling, and he'll take off, and he'll get brought down at the 37-yard line. That's going to be about a yard short of the first down.
So far in the first couple of series for the BC Lions, Travis Lule has not been able to settle in the pocket. It's been pressure from Montreal that's causing problems. This offense can't find traction. They're only first down by penalty because he's on the run.
Executions look like it's been a short week for BC, hasn't it?
Well, and coming off an emotional win, a very physical game against the Calgary Stampeders. I wondered if they were able to keep that intensity at a high level here in Montreal.
Paul McCallum on to attempt a 45-yarder. Out of the hold of Thomas DeMarco, who was kicking field goals in the warm-up just in case. And McCallum off the bar and in. You gotta call that, don't you? He'll take it.
He'll take it.
Paul McCallum hitting his 8th of the year in 10 attempts. Lions lead by 3.
Last week in Saskatchewan, Josh Nicewander got his first CFL action as Anthony Calvillo was knocked out in the first play of the second quarter. Nicewander went 147 yards through 2 picks and no touchdowns. It was great to see that Anthony Calvillo, the veteran, came out to sit beside Nicewander throughout the game as support, even though he was asked by the doctors to stay in the locker room.
Back to Jerome Messam for the pickup of about 6 yards.
Talked to Jim Pop about Josh Nicewander. He said he's confident that he can manage this game well. Felt he did that even though the numbers weren't very good in Saskatchewan. The Alouettes had a chance to win. And Gerald Brown took a fumble return 54 yards for a touchdown and a late lead in that game.
Second and 5. Nicewander under pressure. Gets it away, and the catch is made on the far side by Eric Delorier. He'll be short of the first down. Delorier's 7th catch of the season.
That was a pretty good throw on the run by Nicewander. Got outside and tried to buy himself some time to his right. And by the time that this play, he was able to throw the football, Eric Delorier had to work his way back. The coverage of Court Parks too close to him. If he stays at the first down marker, that ball's probably intercepted. So he's got to come back to help his quarterback. Does that, but is just short.
So it's thrown out and a high snap. And Sean White's just going to kick it back for the safety. Martin Bedard, the usual long snapper for the Alouettes, was hurt in Saskatchewan. And Patrick Lavoie takes over. And his first long snap of the night sails on Sean White. Add 2 more to the Lions as White kicks it through for the safety.
Montreal Alouettes have 9 starters out of the lineup. Martin Bedard on the long snapping is one of them. And Patrick Lavoie, that ball was rising as it got to Sean White. Does the smart thing to kick it out the back of the end zone, not give up terrible field position, and the ball on about the 5-yard line. 2 points, not as important as that field position at that point, but that snap didn't have a chance.
Had heavy rain late in the afternoon in Montreal, but it let up prior to the game. Don't think that was an issue. Here's Brown on the return, and he is dropped at the 42-yard line.
You don't talk about the center on the special teams or the holder in field goals and extra points until that happens.
Unless they make a mistake. So it's been a sloppy start. Travis Lulay will try and get this turned around for the Lions, even though they have the 5-point lead. Cream Smith was nicked on that last kickoff, and he is slow to get to the sidelines.
See if the Lions go with some running game here. Try and give their offensive line a chance to get settled in a little bit.
What they do to Andrew Harris, who spins off first contact and is up to the 49-yard line.
And back with the Montreal Alouettes. Anwar Stewart back in the Alouette colors. Calgary Stampeders last year helped them get to the Grey Cup championship. And he becomes the longest-serving Alouette with AC and Scott Flory out of the lineup in Montreal. Anwar Stewart's now the longest-serving Montreal Alouette in the lineup tonight, 176 games.
13-year veteran. Alouette personnel saying it's like he never left. Second down and a crosser, and Emmanuel Arsenault. First down and a lot more. And Arsenault down to the 39-yard line of the Alouettes.
Well, he's a big play man. Emmanuel Arsenault shows you his acceleration here. It's just a short crossing route, but when he gets the ball in his hands, he puts it into another gear and outruns the angle of the tackler. Watch how he catches his ball. Now that speed takes a big hard step, and Jeff Tisdale loses the angle, is now in chase position.
22 for Arsenault, averaging 20 yards a catch on the year. First down BC, Alouette 39-yard line. And they try and drop it off to Harris, and a flag comes down. Michael Klassen read the play and might have grabbed Harris prior to the ball arriving.
You know, I think he did. He definitely got his arms around him. I'm not sure if, well, he may have grabbed the jersey a little bit with the left hand. Was it enough to twist Andrew Harris around? He released early enough, became the receiver, so you can't grab him.
Forward pass interference. Montreal, number 90. Be a 10-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
Klassen, a Calgary native, draft pick this year, one of 5 dinos in the lineup for the Alouettes.
There's Klassen and Andrew Harris in the backfield. Watch him release fairly quickly, little play action. Now he's coming out. Now number 90 grabs him. That left hand is going to grab the jersey, pull Andrew Harris inside. That's interference.
Out of a double tight end formation, first down, 29-yard line. Harris stays in the block. Lulay delivers, and laying out for it, Courtney Taylor with a spectacular catch.
Was it ever? He's pumped up, and so is his teammates. Andrew Harris halfway down the field to congratulate him on this big catch. Had to lay out completely. Layered routes now for Travis Lulay. They're trying to get more players in front of him. That short crosser to Manny Arsenault, play a go, and now look at that catch. Nice.
5 games with 50 yards receiving or more from Courtney Taylor. He's been a consistent performer so far this year. 14 on that catch. And it's first and goal. Lulay inside, complete touchdown. Sean Gore has the touchdown, his 3rd of the year.
Lions bring in some extra protection. They leave Andrew Harris in the backfield. They've got Rolly Lumbala in the backfield. Want to make sure Travis Lulay isn't run out of the pocket. He knows he's going to get pressure down there. The protection holds up. That gives Lulay a throwing lane, and touchdown, Gore.
Bishop product, played his university football in Lennoxville. Caps a 6-play, 67-yard touchdown drive for the Lions.
Just his 11th catch of this season. Way behind his pace from a year ago. Maybe that'll get him kick-started.
Okay. Extra point by McCallum. So after the safety, Lions march the downfield and put a major on the board. Six plays, 67 yards in just over 2.5 minutes as the Lions get traction.
And protection better for Travis Lule. Finds Manny Arsenault over the middle. Then that beautiful catch by Courtney Taylor. Laying out for that one. Sets up the Sean Gore touchdown. And the Lions capitalizing on some Montreal mistakes early in this one.
So Carrier's back along with Terrell Sutton. Alouettes in an early hole. Carrier across the 25, stumbles and tagged down there by Jason Araki. So Nicewander a 12-point deficit.
Well, and he's now that that first drive for Nicewander when they were moving the ball until he threw the interception was when they had Jerome Messam involved. First down run, I think the first play of the game offensively, but Jim Pop's squad really now giving up those 12 points on their own mistakes. A bad snap, a penalty that kept the drive alive for 3, and a bad snap that gave up a safety and then a touchdown.
Back into the hands of Messam. And Jerome Messam straight ahead to the 33. The offensive line for the Alouettes missing 399 man games of experience without Josh Burke, Scott Flory, and Andrew Woodruff.
They move Michael Ola out to tackle, but you're right. Look at the experience missing from the lineup. 15 seasons for Scott Flory. Josh Burke normally playing tackle, and Andrew Woodruff beginning of the year, and now Ola will move out. Christian Matt plays at guard. Ryan Bauman and Jeff Parrott.
2nd and 6, pressure on. Nicewander in trouble, and he'll get dropped. Brandon Jordan with his 3rd sack of the year. Lions are last in sacks, just their 13th of the season.
Playing that 40 front earlier in the game, or early in this game, and Jabbar Westerman coming in. He flushes him up into the arms of Brandon Jordan.
98-36.
Tough start against a top-ranked defense for Nicewander.
Better long snap to Sean White, but they'll have to do it again. Early movement.
Procedure, Montreal, number 36, 5-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down. Hold the clock, timer.
That's Daryl Townsend, the special teams demon for the Alouettes.
You know, for Montreal, it feels a little bit like a preseason game for them with the mistakes they're making, bad snaps, penalties they're taking, offsides, just discipline issues. But with all their changes and injuries, I guess we can't be too surprised.
So Lavoie has to deliver it again and is on the money.
Let him go! Let him go!
Tim Brown at the 45. Through the first wave and across midfield. Great field position for the Lions to the Montreal 53.
Chris, you and I before the game counted 9 starters of their 24 on offense and defense out of the lineup for Jim Pop. He's trying to patch together this group right now. There's a few of the stars. We showed you Josh Burke. He's out. Anthony Calvillo, of course, concussion symptoms. And Kyrus Hebert, one of, if not their best defender this season.
Talking to Jim Pop yesterday, and in his mind, either Hebert or Chip Cox,
right.
Defensive Player of the Year so far. Both with tremendous starts. They miss Hebert, and that handoff not going very far. Travis Lule smiling yesterday. He was not going to miss Kyrus Hebert tonight.
No, well, he is, 7 sacks on the season for Hebert, 2 fumble recoveries. He had 42 tackles. So Marc-Olivier Brouillette is the guy that will replace him. Now, we've seen him come on a couple of blitzes, cause some problems in an early series for Travis Lulay. Very good football player, and again, as you mentioned, last week's Canadian Player of the Week.
Most of the injured starters are on offense, and the Owls need the defense to step up. 2nd and 8. Lulay has it tipped, and it'll fall incomplete, short of Bouillette, who was sizing up an interception. Looked like the intended target was Manny Arsenault.
And was it Alan Michael Cash in the interior of the defensive line that gets his hand on the football. Real good push from this defensive line tonight, but for one series, the series they scored on. As Alan Michael Cash watched the push with Matt Norman going one-on-one, driving him dragged, and then the left hand up. Bouillette had a shot at it.
McCallum, a line drive, angling punt, carrier on the fly at the 15. And he is contained there by Lynn J. Shell. Let's check in with John Liu on the Alouette sidelines.
Well, thank you, Chris. And of the 5 quarterbacks who've made their CFL starting debuts, so far Josh Nicewander is falling more in the category of Justin Goltz and Max Hall of Winnipeg, as opposed to Bo Levi Mitchell in Calgary and Zach Collaros in Toronto. And in the latter's case, the BC Lions were at the receiving end of the rookie Argos QB's show a few weeks ago, and Mike Benavides said that his club learned from that experience, especially on defense. They didn't make enough plays, they lost their focus, and so they're very wary about what Nicewander might be able to do. And Nicewander is finding out firsthand that this team is the best at pass defense, giving up fewer than 200 yards per game.
Also, Nicewander now will watch at least this series. Tanner Marsh comes into the game, a rookie out of Arkansas Tech. We were told we might see Marsh sprinkled into this offense, but with a slow start, maybe quicker than we anticipated.
Well, and it may be that Jim Pop just wants to see and have Josh Nicewander watch from the sideline. Let Tanner Marsh, that he's real excited about. This guy is a guy who went to 5 different free agent tryout camps to continue to get reps, to prove to Montreal he belonged in training camp. Got a spot.
Pass dropped by Messam, incomplete. It'll be 2nd down. Well, a guy that caused a little bit of a stir in college football. Called it Marsh Madness when he lit things up. And unlike Nicewander, who's been here 2.5 years, Marsh, a first-year Montreal Alouette.
Well, and just because it's so early in the game that Nicewander's on the sideline, I've got to believe that Jim Pop wants him to just watch and see the pace of the game from there for a series or 2, maybe, depending on how Marsh plays.
2nd and 10. He's got some time, looking for Bruce downfield, and nearly intercepted. J.R. LaRose had it in his hands and dropped it.
And still looking for his first.
So the end of the opening quarter. Lulay to Sean Gore, the major score that puts the Lions up by 12. Until the last possession by BC, not much offense in the opening 15 minutes.
Well, you know, as John mentioned, the BC Lions have the #1 ranked defense against the pass, and Josh Nicewander struggled in that first quarter, pulled for Tanner Marsh. We'll see how long that lasts. Although, you know what, Chris, when I watched him in those first few series, it just doesn't look like Nicewander right now is seeing the game.
He was very comfortable at times against Saskatchewan. You're right, it looks different. Justin Goltz was held to 112 yards against BC. Lions determined not to have Zach Collaros-like game against them.
Well, they're ready to play in that secondary, probably looking forward to this game with a young quarterback. But that interception to Ryan Phillips in the first series may have just rattled Nicewander a little bit. He's going to settle down on the sidelines.
And just as we went to break, an objectionable conduct penalty against the Alouettes. So they march it back in great field position again for the Lions. Tim Brown fielding it and bringing it back close to the midfield stripe.
Well, that's a good point when you talk field position, Chris, because in that first quarter, Montreal started average on their own 29, the BC Lions on their own 47, and again, good field position here, just shy of the center field stripe. So Travis Lulay's been working on basically half the field.
And we're told that S.J. Green was the target of the flag.
68 is eligible.
He's got to be the target for these young quarterbacks. At the 54 of the Lions, BC starts, and when Johnson throws a flag.
Too many men in the formation. BC, 10-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
13th man costs Mike Benavides.
Brought in the tight end, Middleton, the offensive lineman that they brought in to help out with some depth. And Sean Gore, it looked like, was the receiver that was on the field as well and shouldn't have been. He's the tight end right here, covered by Gore. One too many men on the field for the BC Lions.
Is eligible.
And you just heard the official, 58 is eligible. Newcomer to the Lions. Acquired from Calgary. And the pass downfield is incomplete, intended for Arsenault, and Middleton was outrunning a pass route.
Starts out at that tight end. You heard the officials say that he was an eligible receiver. I'm not sure if he was the number one target, but he did try to release, push to the flat, and Manny Arsenault ran that out, but underthrown by Travis Ouellet.
Arsenault working against Jeff Tisdale. 2nd and 10. 2nd and 20, excuse me. Ouellet to the sidelines. The pass is caught, and there's that Arsenault-Tisdale matchup once again, just across midfield, but short of a first down.
It'll be short. I think Ouellet's more comfortable throwing to Manny Arsenault than he is to Steve Middleton. Although it's a good
better
change-up.
choice.
Yeah, I think it's a better choice. It's a change-up, plays tight end. So another thing it does is that makes sure opponents don't just think it's going to be run when they bring the tight end set in.
Paul McCallum has had plenty of work on these kicks into the corner here, trying to pin the Alouettes. And maybe he'll throw as they fake it, a completion, and it will be a first down. So the veteran McCallum to Anton McKenzie, and it's a Lions first down.
Anton McKenzie is what's called the personal protector. Lines up back about 7-8 yards from the line of scrimmage. He's there really for protection, but watch him sneak out early and no one picks him up. So McCallum realizes that he's uncovered. I'm not sure if this is called or not, but if you exit the line, if you exit the formation and sneak out there and no one comes out to cover you, a veteran punter recognizes it, and first down BC.
Lions got burned the same way out of punt formation by Calgary last week. 43-year-old Paul McCallum with the completion. And now the toss to Tim Brown, tries the left side. And he gets brought down by Lavarius.
You know, BC Lions have had the field tip their direction, but you know, I'm thinking that they get antsy if they don't come away with a major on this series. And Mike Benavides, his score could be a lot worse in his favor on the road. Now the word is it was pouring rain before the game. The word is there's another system coming in that might hit us around the third quarter. So a good start, important for both these teams, and Mike Benavides wants to take advantage of this field position.
Manny Arsenault shaken up on that last play. Bill Rochelle out to assist him. 5-yard pickup for Brown, who leaves the game. And Andrew Harris checks back in. Travis Ouellet's still looking for his first 300-yard game of the year. His season best, 284 against the Edmonton Eskimos. Here comes the blitz, 2nd and 5, flag down. Montreal maybe offside, and the pass for Iannuzzi sails the Strider too far.
Bruyette offside on that. It looks like it's going to be on that blitz.
Tried to time it up, but just a half step.
Offside, Montreal. 5-yard penalty, repeat, second down.
He's coming on the blitz, and there was real pressure. Travis Lule couldn't complete this pass because of it. There's Bruyette coming from the linebacking core. They run a little bit of a stunt with John Bowman as well. He gets there too. You can see number 10 just a step ahead of the snap of the football. Again, another donation by Montreal.
Well, the short yardage team comes in. Big boys hunker down. Thomas DeMarco at the controls. And DeMarco sliding off the left side behind big Patrick Kabongo, who grew up here in Montreal.
Been a real good year for Patrick Kabongo with some of the injuries up front. Kabongo's moved into that starting role as the left guard for the BC Lions, and throughout the first, now into week 8 of the season, BC Lions 7 games played. He only has 1 holding call and has played very consistently top to bottom.
6 game starts last year. He has been the starting left guard for each game this season. The friendly giant. Rain starts to come down once again. Lule drops it off. Here's Harris. H.J. Emery miss and then gets brought down by John Bowman.
Well, it came down hard in the pregame, Chris. I mean, we were on our way up here, and we saw it. It was just coming down in buckets, and you thought, is this going to last throughout? Speaking of Patrick Kabongo, out there getting warmed up in the rain, as the big guys doesn't bother them at all. But we heard that it was coming back in around the third quarter. Looks like it's arrived a little early as the crowd scrambles to get cover.
Second, about 1.5 yards for Harris. John Bowman there to grab him, and then they pull him back. And I'm not sure.
I don't think he got there. It's going to be close.
John Bowman, the 8-year veteran, who told us at the start of the year, I think Stu's going to come back before this season's over. His good buddy Anwar Stewart. Let's see where they mark it at the 21, so they're going to be 1 yard short.
Boy, it's a full yard. Well, Aaron Laverius is the starting defensive end opposite John Bowman, but Anwar Stewart will rotate in.
So DeMarco back in. And again, 3rd down. 10th play of the drive as the Lions try to extend it. Gore in motion, handoff, and Andrew Harris going to be able to turn the corner. No! Gets drilled out short of the first down. It's a turnover on downs by a fired up Alouette defense led by safety Mike Edom.
Short yardage, and this time DeMarco wants to give the ball to Andrew Harris, who's going laterally along the line of scrimmage. I'm not a big fan of this. I know BC Lions fans aren't either. Gerald Brown shoots the gap. He had the big play last week that got the Alouettes the lead late against Saskatchewan. Ended up losing that lead. Mike Edom helps clean him up with the tackle. But Gerald Brown with a great shoot through the gap. Makes another big play, turn it over on downs.
Well, we've seen rain like this a few times this year. That's as heavy as it's been, though. And Tanner Marsh stays in at quarterback and hands it off to Jerome Messam. Well, another Texas-born quarterback. There's a few of them in the league.
I wonder how many rain games like this he played down in Texas.
Wow.
So, son, getting a chance to play against the number 1 ranked pass defense in the league, in the BC Lions. Not bad against the run either. And it's your first playing action in Canada, and guess what? It's pouring rain.
2 for Messam, 2nd and 8. Quarterback draws straight ahead. And Tanner Marsh dropped the football, had the first down. Who's got the football?
Like Christian Mack got there quickly. Fighting with Josh Bell to see who comes up with it.
Slippery pigskin. Man, it's the BC Lions that come up with the football.
And they got
That's
it.
Jabbar Westerman. So Westerman with the fumble recovery, and after turning it over on downs, the Lions get it back. Elimimian with the hit. Westerman gets the football. Wendy's Friday Night Football continues tomorrow. Grey Cup rematch. Calgary kicking off against the Toronto Argonauts. Live coverage gets underway 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, right here on TSN. Be a good night to be at the Olympic Stadium, wouldn't it?
Well, they didn't like that anymore. Playoffs only.
Ah, the roof leaks.
That's true. In this rain, it'd be leaking.
Travis Lulay looked like a little confusion there as he is swarmed at the 35. Another first down loss for the Lions.
A tough start for these young quarterbacks for Montreal. Tanner Marsh get a little playing time against Toronto, but only has attempted 2 passes coming in to this game tonight, so limited action in his first year. Had the first down, puts the ball on the ground. Solomon Elimimian, and I think Corey Banks was involved as well, knocking it out of there. And Jabbar Westerman comes up with it.
Second forced fumble by the Lions middle linebacker. First down production has not been good for the Lions. 2nd and 11. Lulay will drop it off, and there's Harris once again. Trying to make the first man miss, not this time. Ouellette cleans up after Jeff Tisdale had slowed up Andrew Harris.
You're right, Chris. It's first down production that's been the issue, and early on it was a lack of protection for Travis Lulay. Just didn't have time to settle his feet in the pocket. But as this game's gone on, the protection's improved. They just can't get that 5, 7, 6 yard gain on first down, get them in manageable situations on second down. Of course, the weather isn't helping.
So in the slick conditions, it'll be a 39-yard attempt. Out of the hold of Thomas DeMarco for Paul McCallum, who puts it through. The Lions increase their lead up by 15 here in the second quarter in rainy Montreal. Our sack tally is brought to you by Purolator, tackling hunger across Canada. Check.
Montreal closing a little closer to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. They've got sacks from Marc-Olivier Brouillette and safety Mike Edom so far tonight.
And for a team that has struggled, the Montreal defense pretty strong on the stats page. Ranked 3rd or better in most categories. Carriers spilled up across the 30-yard line. Tanner Marsh gets set to go back to work against very stingy Lions pass defense.
Now, it's still early in the year, but that has been an impressive number. Under 200 yards allowed for the BC Lions after 7 games to the 2013 season. And there's interesting teams. I was on that Saskatchewan team in '88. Didn't realize that played there, and
didn't know you were that good.
Well, no, but the BC Lions beat us in the final that year at home, or in the semifinal. Rich Stubler is the architect of a couple of those defenses.
Here's Marsh airing it out. He's got a wide open man. Durant Carter has the catch. And Chris Carter's son had the big play and then dropped the football. Let's see if they rule him down. 6'5", 205 pounds. Durant Carter with a 52-yard catch, his first in the Canadian Football League.
And up until that point, the Montreal Alouettes passing had just 14 yards passing against this BC defense. And just as we say it, they have a bust in the secondary, and that's J.R. LaRose coming all the way over to try and help out. It's a wide receiver to the outside here. Little stop and go on Cord Parks. Gets in behind him.
So the son of a Pro Football Hall of Famer making an impact with his first catch in the Canadian Football League. And Marsh, corner route looking downfield, and he's got another completion. Eric Delorier. And suddenly Tanner Marsh has the fans in Montreal excited.
Yeah, and the fact that he's muscling this ball down the field in these conditions is impressive. This was supposed to be lined up as a hitch screen to Arlen Bruce on the outside, but Tanner Marsh thought, I want to get a little bit more. I got an open receiver down the field.
Over.
Well, that a little bit of Ricky Ray on that football, didn't it? Well, 52 to Duron Carter, 20 to Delorier. And the Alouettes are first and goal. And a problem with the snap. Marsh picks it up, and he'll get back close to the line of scrimmage. A little wasted down in the score zone.
And it looked like this one, it didn't, like the early one for the BC Lions, that had heat on it from the center. Luc Jordan here has a pretty good snap in the shotgun, just goes right through his hands. I think Tanner Marsh took his eyes off it, went to go for that handoff or play action, took his eyes off it just for a split second before it arrived.
So it's second and goal from the 7. Red zone production's been a problem for the Alouettes this season. There's a pass for Lavoie, and he is cut down. Veteran Ryan Phillips denies Lavoie route to the end zone.
Jim Pop's going to get pushed from the crowd to go for it here.
Lavoie, little wave too, and no movement on the sidelines yet. What's he going to do?
Real early to be gambling against one of the top-ranked defense. You almost want to take points if you're in this position. And this is they're trying to keep that football dry, but you're 3 yards away from the goal line.
Here's one of the biggest differences from last year. About the same number of trips to the red zone, less than half the production. And now it's third and goal for Marsh. Out of the gun. Puts it in the end zone. Touchdown! S.J. Green.
Pays off, but I think you take the points. It worked, and it'll grab some Montreal momentum. Number 1 receiver for the Montreal Alouettes, S.J. Green, number 3 in the CFL.
And the Alouettes wanted the football back because they wanted for Tanner Marsh.
That's right. And he recognized blitz up the middle from Solomon Elamimian, saw him coming, left his spot in the linebacking core. That's where the void was, and Green got there.
S.J. Green threw it into the stands and realized, hey, that thing's a souvenir, and he just went over to give it to Tanner Marsh. Extra point for BC native Sean White, and Alouettes get back in the game.
Well, the big throw to Duron Carter got Tanner Marsh going in this offense. And that's a tough throw in these conditions. He got it, took advantage of a bust in the coverage, and then S.J. Green comes inside. Nice inside route. He sees that Solomon Elamimian is gone, and he's going to come in, make that inside move with the linebacker leaving the middle. Tanner Marsh recognizes it. Outstanding for such a young quarterback to see nobody in front of him with the blitz coming, and got rid of it before the blitz could get there.
Fifth touchdown of the year for S.J. Green. Third in the league in receiving. And the 23-year-old Tanner Marsh has his first touchdown pass.
And a gutsy move by Jim Pop. I mean, that was a long 3 yards. It's a very good BC Lions defense. It pays off.
6-play drive, 77 yards. The big play to the youngster Duron Carter for 52.
They come away with no points there, and that could demoralize them to no end, but it worked for Jim Pop.
Jim Brown fields this at the 12. And Brown up to the 33-yard line, gets taken down there. Terrell Sutton in on the tackle. See what Travis Lulay can do in response.
Well, a couple of first downs is the number one priority, even if you have to punt it if you're BC here, because now that Montreal defense has some hope. They saw Tanner Marsh play real well in the pouring rain, throw a couple of deep balls, convert on a third down gamble. They've got some momentum rolling. The way you stop that if you're Travis Lulay is with a couple first downs.
Off to Brown, and he will dart up over the 40-yard line. There's better first down production as we hit the 3-minute warning. Tanner Marsh closing the gap with that TD pass to F.J. Green. Under 3 minutes to go, then it's GMC live at the half. Coach Paul Appelese will check in the playbook with that fake punt by the Lions that worked, and the guys will set the scene for tomorrow's Grey Cup rematch between Calgary and Toronto. 7 for Tim Brown. It's 2nd and 3 for BC. At the 40-yard line, it's Andrew Harris not going to get the first down as he gets pulled back once again. Forward progress looks like it's going to be close. 42. Had to get to the 43, or just shy of the 43.
I'm going to say, it looks to me like it's still about a yard short. Remember, their last third down attempt in short yardage was that wide sweep to Andrew Harris that was snuffed out by Gerald Brown and Mike Edom.
Chains come out. And it is about a yard. And Mike Benavides is not going to take any chances.
There you go. Talk you out of it because of early success or early failure. One way or the other. And Mike Benavides converts on the last attempt. He probably goes for it on that one.
Target's alive.
So Carrier awaits. McCallum kicks it. And from the 23, flag down as Carrier gets stopped up quickly by Tim Cronk. 45-yard punt, 5 on the return.
See what this flag is. Jim Pop pulling the trigger quickly with Josh Nicewander.
Holding. Montreal, number 95. While the ball was in the air, we'll go back 10 yards from where it was caught. First down.
Houghton Hopkins called. Now, in fairness, Jim Pop said you may see both, and Tanner Marsh might get a series or two, and with nothing happening for the starter and Marsh up making things happen.
Yeah, and I think for Nicewander, the game just looked a little bit fast for him at this point. I mean, it was moving quickly. He looked like he was not in control and had that first early interception on, I believe it was his first throw or one of his first throws to Ryan Phillips. That likely rattled him a little bit on his second throw of the game. Tanner Marsh has come in, got things moving with that deep ball.
And Marsh didn't let his fumble rattle him. Hand off, and Jerome Messam, the former Lion, gets tripped up around the 20-yard line. Has 7 on first down.
But Jim Pop's pulling the trigger quickly these days to try and turn things around. He did it with his head coach and Dan Hawkins. They got off to such a poor start, decided to pull the trigger quickly there. The owner, Bob Wetnall, asked him to take the sideline the interim basis. He accepted that, said, okay, let's do it. Let's turn this thing around. Very close in Saskatchewan last week. He's got to be encouraged by his quarterback play right now.
Says now that the offensive game plan is about where it should have been coming out of camp. Messam again, Banks first contact, but the big man has a first down. 4 starts against his old team, the BC Lions. Messam never with more than 18 yards rushing. Back-to-back 7-yard runs here.
Well, and the Lions are coming off that game where they stopped John Cornish. I say stop. He had 77 yards rushing, but stopped short of that magic 100-yard mark. The Lions have only given up defensively 1 run of over 20 yards all season long. So that's what Messam has to deal with tonight.
And until that last series, Lions hadn't given
Look
up.
out.
Here's Arlen Bruce, and he stayed upright to avoid a big loss. Boy, that could have been dangerous, but the former Lions somehow made the play in traffic and got back near the line of scrimmage.
I thought Corey Banks was going to tie Ryan Phillips. He shot through there, and I thought he was going to intercept this hitch pass. He was there so quickly.
Ryan Phillips there too.
They were racing for that football, and somehow Arlen Bruce came up with it.
And we've been kidding the two because they're two great veterans who, coming into this game, at the exact same number of interceptions. Phillips has taken a one-pick lead over Banks now. Second and long, and a pass for Bruce, can't come up with it. I was going to say the 52-yard pass by Marsh, the first explosive play against the Lions defense in 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's pass or run, and then you talk about the runs. Only one all year over 20 yards, so they've been a stingy defense. Played well. Played maybe their best game of the year last week against Calgary. Jim Bob's got to be happy that Tanner Marsh has bounced back a little bit. Converted the gamble on third down and have made this a game.
John White to kick. Lions get their hands on the football one more time in this first half.
Put your gloves on. You can't step without them.
Iannuzzi and Tim Brown both back.
Let him go.
Brown at the 45 of BC. Up across midfield, and he shoots through down to the Montreal 44-yard line. Tim Brown has been energized in the last couple of weeks. 212 all-purpose yards last week, and a 21-yard punt return here. Let's check in with John Liu.
Thank you, Chris. And now that Anwar Stewart is back on the defensive line with John Bowman, you have 00 and number 7, which has allowed Jim Pop to coin the nickname for the two 007 partners in crime. John Bowman is Anwar Stewart's best friend. He was his best man at his wedding, and Stewart coming back into the dressing room is a very popular character. Mythical to the young guys who haven't played with him before, and Father Time and Uncle Stu to the guys who were his teammates from 2011 and earlier than that. So certainly his leadership and his character, a welcome addition to a dressing room that has been a tumultuous one for the Montreal Alouettes this season.
Well, they were yoga partners, and that was a mental image that I just couldn't get my head around. Anwar Stewart and John Bowman doing yoga, but
no more yoga though. Strongman stuff now. He was tossing around 800-pound tires to get ready for the return. That pass over the middle, incomplete, intended for Courtney Taylor, who made that highlight reel catch in the first quarter.
Talk about races between these two guys and the all-time sack leaders for the Montreal Alouettes. When you talk Anwar Stewart and John Bowman, Anwar Stewart, 66 career, just a couple ahead of his good buddy John Bowman. He's closing fast, so a little bit of a race. And you mentioned earlier, Chris, John Bowman said that I think Anwar will be back before it's over.
Here's Paul McCallum trying a 45-yarder. And he is on the money again. That's the longest of the season for McCallum. And the Lions' lead is now 11.
Well, you know, that last field goal, he had to fight through a tough hole from Thomas DeMarco. That one he nails from long distance. Remember, he's completed a pass for a first down on that fake punt that Coach LaPolice will talk about at halftime. So the veteran is chipping in. Fourth in CFL history in total points for Paul McCallum. Just 1,226 yards behind Louis Pasaglia. That's amazing how many points Louis got, but amazing career.
Isn't going anywhere.
No.
And he now has a new understudy, Steve Schott, as Hugh O'Neill was released and picked up by the Edmonton Eskimos. So Tanner Marsh has 35.8 on the clock officially here at Personable Molson. From the 35, it's a quarterback draw, follows the blocking, and runs for a first down.
difference between this one and the one he fumbled on is that he went down a little earlier. He saw the pressure coming from outside in. He knew he had about first down territory and went down just before contact was made. Not letting big number 56 knock that football out of there.
12-yard run for Marsh. Needs about 25 to get it into white range. Drops it off and through the hands and into the hands of Solomon Elimimian. And Elimimian puts the Lions in scoring range inside the Montreal 40-yard line. His second interception of the year.
Boy, that first half of mistakes for Montreal just keeps showing its ugly face for them. BC Lions will take it. There's 56. Solomon Elimimian drops into that zone. Underneath coverage, ball tips up. And he's right there to pick it off.
Through the hands of Tyrell Sutton.
Another newcomer to the offense. Throw was right on the money.
Major foul. Montreal number 89. Unnecessary roughness, 15 yards. First down.
And that's Deron Carter, another youngster making a mistake to add to the woes of the Alouettes. Third turnover of this first half for Montreal.
And Chris, the BC Lions since way back in 2011 are 18-1 when they win the turnover battle.
So the Lions with a chance to really take a first half stranglehold here. If they could put a major up, they get the Alouettes jumping, and play is halted.
Like Shea Emery moved. I'm not sure if he was drawn offside, but if he touched someone on the BC offensive line.
John Bowman trying to sell that they were drawn. And
yeah, if there was little movement there from that offensive line, then they were drawn offside. I mean, it looked like Shea Emery took off, as if he saw some kind of movement.
Shea, of course, UBC product.
John Bowman got a quick start too. He was moved to the interior. Well, he was playing in, but he was covered up by Shea Emery. They pointed quickly to Matt Norman as if he might have shifted or something. I didn't see. When we watched it live, I didn't see any early movement.
Boy, this is a long debate.
Well, while they debate that and talk about it, let's just show you the play. There's center Matt Norman. You see right across from him is John Bowman, just to his right. There's the early movement. I don't think Matt Norman moved at all.
We have offside penalties. We'll replay the down.
Unless that one of the receivers
wondered about
higher.
So Courtney Taylor was ahead of the snap, and so were a couple of the Alouettes.
Well, one should draw the other. That's always a...
Let's pretend it never happened.
Well, it's happened before, offsetting offsides.
Bunch formation short side. Lulay under pressure. On a roll now, and he'll take off and step out with 9.1 seconds left in this first half. Out of bounds at the 18-yard line.
Well, this is a tough situation for Lulay here because, you know, I know he wants to take a shot, and yet any delay here in this play, if he has to scramble or get outside or anything like that, he may lose his opportunity, and it's one play shot for points here.
Double checks the clock. 2nd and 5.
Coming.
Going to load it up into the back of the end zone for Nick Moore, who lost his footing, and it falls incomplete, but there is still time on the clock for Paul McCallum.
It's excellent time management by Lulay because he had a play called and a receiver and a route run from Nick Moore that he doesn't have to scramble around. He's going to throw this up, put a ton of air on it, and put it right at the back of the end zone so only Moore could get a shot at it, but he does it quick enough so they can get another play in within 9 seconds. Now, if Moore kept straight just running his route, he might have run under that. Tried to turn around and backpedal like a
off the center,
outfielder.
guys. Lay off the 7-10.
Lions looking for their third field goal off 3 Montreal turnovers. And from 25 yards out, McCallum on the final play of the opening half puts it through. So Paul McCallum has 3 field goals, and Mike Benavides' Lions have a 14-point halftime lead as we check in with Dave Rando. 14-point lead for the BC Lions as we get set for the second half. Just Nicewander started for Montreal. Tanner Marsh came in the second quarter and generated the only Montreal touchdown. These two both beat out veteran Quinton Porter in training camp for spots on the roster behind the injured Anthony Calvillo.
Josh Nicewander went 1 for 3 and an interception. Did not get much playing time at all. So I know Bruce, his father down in Dallas, and Arissa in Winsboro, Texas are watching. Not to worry. May see him again in the second half. And if not, he's a prospect and somebody that Jim Pop believes in. So we'll give him a chance to redeem himself. The problem was early on in the game against a top-ranked BC defense, he looked like the game was a little bit fast for him. Tanner Marsh settled things down, and late in that first half, hit a couple of deep balls that got things going a little bit for Montreal.
So without Anthony Calvillo, Jim Pop got to dress a third quarterback tonight, and there he is, the former Heisman Trophy winner out of Ohio State, Troy Smith, who wowed teammates this week. A pretty good opening week of practice from all reports. But it's going to take him some time to absorb the Canadian Football League playbook. Carrier hurdles one man, and Tyrone Carrier across midfield. The Houston prospect down the sidelines, another hurdle. And that'll get Montreal going to start this second half.
And they want to take advantage, Tanner Marsh does, of the fact that the rain's let up a little bit here. They get a big play to start the second half out of their teams.
72-yard kick return for Tyrone Aircraft Carrier.
Yeah, and watch how he hits that wall. It's the first 5 or 6 steps up into the middle to sell that he's running a middle return. Then he bounces it wide. Now all the BC Lion defenders coming down on that kickoff cover get caught too far inside. No one has contained, and Carrier is outside and on the run.
So that gives Tanner Marsh and the Alouette offense a first down at the 27-yard line. Marsh rolling out and taking off, and he'll run for another first down. So he's got a little more mobility than Nicewander.
He does, and it was a good play fake for a young quarterback trying to keep focused, because he's going to have pressure off the edge that comes from Kareem Smith. And Kareem Smith bites in on that handoff fake. He gets outside of that. Now Smith has lost contain, and it's Josh Bell has to try and run down Tanner Marsh. Does have a little mobility. I like his confidence. You know, he's slinging it in that pouring rain, in that downpour in the second quarter. He hit a nice deep ball to Jerron Carter. Set up their first touchdown to S.J. Green. See if he can capitalize here.
Carter checks back into the offensive huddle along with D.L. Moore, who we have yet to hear from tonight. First down, and it'll be Messam. Jerome Messam pounding. Jerome Messam, touchdown. Vintage Jerome Messam.
Boy, is it ever. He gets low, and defenders go low to try and tackle him. No one wants to take Jerome Messam up high. Teron Williams can't corral him with an arm tackle. And you can see guys diving for his legs, and when they do, he hurdles them, and they capitalize, and big return from Carrier. Turns into 7 quickly.
Out of the gate in the second half, 2 plays, 27 yards, a touchdown run for Messam of 16, his second touchdown of the year. This is an Alouette team with only 9 third-quarter points prior to that drive. Well, that changes the complexion of things, thanks to the former Lion.
Michael Ola is going to get the most important block of this run by Jerome Messam, and that is to make sure someone gets up on number 56, Solomon Elamimian, and Ola gets up on that second level. Remember Chris Schultz before the game in the pregame show talking about Michael Ola moving out to tackle. Key block to take out their leading tackler, Solomon Elamimian.
Second year for Ola.
My nephew Xavier, it's for you, baby.
Well, Messam savoring the touchdown that gets them within a touchdown, and Tim Brown up across the 35-yard line. That touchdown set up after the 72-yard kick return by Carrier.
Jim Pop agrees with Chris Schultz on the play of Michael Ola and the fact that had not been for the fact that they have an all-Canadian line when everyone's healthy, that this guy would be starting the entire time. He's that good, and when he gets locked up on the second level on Solomon Elamimian, now it's just Jerome Messam against DBs, and I like Messam's chances there.
So the Lions go to work. A touchdown lead and a pass that's intercepted. Gerald Brown off the tip. And the Alouettes seize momentum early in the second half.
The Alouettes defensively are hiding Shea Emery in the line here, and John Bowman is bumping outside of that off the edge. I'm not sure which one got their hand on it. I think it was Emery, and then off of Bowman, deflected right to Gerald Brown, and that's a second week in a row. He's got a turnover on his own, a fumble recovery last week, and he reacted nicely to that tip.
54-yard fumble recovery touchdown for Brown last week, the 5-year veteran. Couple of interceptions last season, has his first of 2013.
By the way, part of that Atlanta group that works out together with Milt Stiegel, see him in the studio with the Lions jersey. I never thought I would ever see Milt Stiegel in a Lions jersey.
It's quite a transaction.
They trained together.
Messam off the right side. He gets pulled down by former Alouette Karan Williams.
I talked to Gerald Brown about that and about his off-season training in Atlanta. He said there's so many guys now. Corey Banks is one of them. He's on the field for the BC Lions.
I think Dante Marsh is part of that group.
Absolutely, and you also got the newcomer, Court Parks, worked out with him this year. Says so many guys out there that they can even play 7-on-7 down in Atlanta. They train together, and Gerald Brown now has a little, can go down there and say, yeah, I remember when we played you guys. I got you. I got Travis Lulay on one.
2nd and 6, and they don't get the play off.
By the way, apparently Milt Stiegel is the drill sergeant.
Time count violation. Montreal number 4. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
Well, that's a costly penalty for the young quarterback to take.
Well, it is 2nd and long.
Now back at the 38-yard line.
But in field goal range, a chance to get some early points here as the rain starts to pick up again.
So 2nd and 11. Cream Smith on the rush, and it's incomplete. Just grounded the football, trying to check down to Messam, but under siege.
Yeah, he threw that one away. He got that quick pass rush, knew he wasn't going to be able to set up and throw. Again, it was Kareem Smith, and Kareem Smith, he gets that early pressure. Now, he's got 3 sacks on the season coming in tonight, but if I can count all those pressures, he's well into the double figures all year long, in the backfield all year.
Mike Benavides said in the first 6 games they had 18 sacks that were just escaped by quarterbacks in the grasp. 18.
I'm guessing he had at least 10 of them.
So from 45 yards out, Sean White. And he has pulled that, and let's see what Tim Brown does with it. He's coming out, and Tim Brown with a juke. Pass Sean White, open field. Lumbala trying to track him down. Foot race. Brown's going to win it. And for the 2nd consecutive week, Tim Brown, touchdown. This one, 123 yards.
It looked like from the get-go that the holder, Josh Nicewander, had a little bit of trouble. It looked like he almost double-clutched it. White misses it, and when Brown gets his hands on it, it's goodbye. There's one guy left to try and tackle him, I believe it was the holder. He made an inside move on him and was gone.
7th kick return touchdown in the league this year. Number 7 has 2 in as many weeks.
See, it was a high snap, and Nicewander got up there. He did get it down in time. He had to fight it off a little bit, got it down in time, but maybe that timing just disrupted Sean White a little bit. He misses, and Tim Brown makes him pay.
So after a rocky start to this third quarter, Tim Brown gets it back on the rails for the Lions.
Boy, Tim Brown, you think about what he went through when he was a healthy scratch. Didn't poke, came back ready to play.
2-touchdown lead for BC thanks to Tim Brown.
Even when it's missed field goals, go ahead and run it. Every one of these Montreal Alouettes have to be in a lane. Christian Matson his. Now there's a lane void. Stop it right here. This is the lane that's missing. And look to the right of your screen. Josh Bell working on Anwar Stewart. Takes him out of that lane. Now Tim Brown's got a lane to run through there, and he's got one-on-one with Josh Nicewander.
First kick return touchdown last week. First missed field goal return touchdown this week, and Anton McKenzie with a special team tackle on that kick return by the Alouettes.
A little smaller than Jim Brown, but Jim Brown's got some great speed, and he showed it there. Outrunning the angles, John Bowman's not going to be able to catch him.
Well, they sat him for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, sat him for Corey Williams, and Williams had about a 3.5-yard average in a couple of games in punt returns. He didn't pout, came back to work when he got his next opportunity, and he's been on fire ever since.
A couple special team heroes acknowledging that Brown touchdown, and a late flag against the Alouettes on the kick return.
Yeah. Objectionable conduct after the play. Montreal, number 29. It's a 10-yard penalty. It'll be 1st and 20. 1st and 20.
Ed Gainey and 1st and 20 to start. So the Alouettes score in their first possession quickly in this third quarter. Get the interception. Look like they're about to close the gap, perhaps even tie it, and suddenly Tim Brown makes it a 14-point game. Having an issue with the chains until they get that fixed up. We're ready to go now. 1st and 20. After an ill-advised penalty to Ed Gainey. Marsh going to sling it deep. He wants Arlen Bruce. Got him. Foot race. Arlen Bruce not going to be caught, or will he? Down at the 5. A touchdown saving tackle by Josh Bell. Wow. Bell closed in a hurry.
How about young Tanner Marsh? Momentum all with the BC Lions after Tim Brown takes it to the house on a missed field goal return. No problem for the young guy. Just stands in the pocket, slings it deep to Arlen Bruce, the former BC Lion. Gets in behind coverage, and you're right, Josh Bell saves the tackle. The Lions can hold here. Think back to this play as one of the TSN turning points. Possible.
86 yards. Marsh to the veteran, Arlen Bruce, who came into the game 134 yards short of the top 10 list in all-time Canadian Football League receiving. So Marsh had 87 yards passing in the second quarter, coming in relief of Nicewander, and just got 86 more there. And Arlen's still savoring it and wondering how he didn't hit Bader.
We'll take a look at the coverage for the BC Lions. Look like Ryan Phillips is trying to stay on that outside edge, thinking he might have safety help, but J.R. LaRose had gone to the opposite side of the field, so the middle was wide open. Tanner Marsh getting reps in just second game. He played against Toronto, was 2 for 2 there. After all the momentum shift to the BC Lions, he slings it.
And the veteran Ryan Phillips pulled up there, and he is getting attention now. And Phillips will head off. 9-year vet who doesn't get singed very often.
Well, I think he played outside technique, believing he had J.R. LaRose. Now, unless LaRose was supposed to go and double team specifically to possibly the opposite side and S.J. Green, that's a lot of field for 21 to cover. That's a lot of field for anyone to cover on a post.
Well, Bruce had some comments this week that he was unhappy with his release in BC, and, you know, he was fired up for this game and wanted to make sure that both young quarterbacks knew who he was. So it's first and goal, just inside the 5. Mess some time. Pounds to the goal line. They're going to rule he didn't get in. I'll take another look at this, but it looks like it's going to be second and goal at the 1.
They were right on the spot. Officials right there, and they put their foot down right on that, about the half yard. Of course, it goes back because of the yard off the ball to the 1 yard line, and yeah, no question. Down and no question. Ball did not cross the plane.
See if it's 23 once again. I formation. First man is Lumbala, and he gets stuffed. Flag down, Solomon Elamimian. Nailing young Stephen Lumbala, Rolly's kid brother. There is a flag.
See what the flag is here.
And the Lions saying it's against Montreal. Getting options. Do you take the penalty, or?
Well, if you don't, it's third down on the 1 yard line. If you do, it's second and 6.
Was procedure.
Solomon Elamimian. Now think back to Josh Bell not giving up on the play, and all of a sudden,
what do you do, Coach? Do you give him 3rd and 1 at the near the goal line, or do you give him an extra down?
Procedure.
I think you take him off the goal line.
No end. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
Yeah, so it's an alignment issue.
I think you take him to the 6 and make Tanner Marsh either run some sort of screen. But let's watch Solomon Elamimian here as he steps up, pumped up likely because his teammate Josh Bell didn't give up on a deep ball to Arlen Bruce. Stops the forward momentum on Lobala, and we got down to a second down over again. But now Montreal back on the 6 yard line. More of a passing situation unless they try and pound it here.
And a couple of the young wideouts come into the game. Both Duron Carter and D.L. Moore check back in. Second and goal from the 6. A fake from Marsh. Scrambling out of the pocket. Eric Taylor in pursuit. Tanner Marsh. Touchdown.
Recovered just in time. Looked like he was stumbling, might lose his balance.
Well, somebody's putting a claim in here for heir apparent in Montreal tonight.
Yeah, you said that right. Here he comes outside now. He realized it's interior lineman Eric Taylor. And not a guy like Kareem Smith or Karan Williams. Has a little bit more speed to the outside and just continues on. Kept his balance and gets it in there.
First touchdown pass in the first half. Now his first touchdown run. Couple of souvenirs for Tanner Marsh.
Still think Mike Benavides made the right call to take it off the goal line. Somehow lost contain.
And White adds the extra point, so they bounce back after the Tim Brown missed field goal return for a touchdown. Marsh with a response. The Saturday TSN brings you international rugby with Canada taking on the USA in the second World Cup qualifying match presented by AIG. Live coverage begins 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific on TSN2. Been an interesting third quarter here, a 7-point Lion lead as Tanner Marsh scores on the 6-yard run, 5 carries, 39 yards, rushing in his relief appearance.
Got a nice block from Jeff Barrett on the right tackle on the touchdown run, but I love how fearless he was when BC had momentum after Tim Brown's return. And he slung it deep to Arlen Bruce. Two Texans talking it out on the sideline.
Tanner Marsh, apparently a quick study. White to kick it off, and it's back in the hands of Tim Brown. Now with 5 career kick return touchdowns. Off and running down the sideline, and he gets bumped out at the 44.
Now there are defenses in that big play to Arlen Bruce where J.R. LaRose has got to take the first crosser, but it looks to me like he needs to be deep in the middle. Go ahead and run it now. Stop it right here. See, as you get this deep one, now there are defenses where he has to jump it. I don't think this is one of them. It looked like the way that Ryan Phillips is playing on the outside shoulder of Arlen Bruce, he expected to have a safety in the middle. It wasn't there. It was deep, and then that Jeff Parrott block was a big one. Number 54 right here at right tackle. Takes Karan Williams just long enough for Marsh to get outside him.
Now Travis Lulay trying to get this Lion offense going again. Courtney Taylor stuffed. And with that catch, Lulay still not 100 yards passing.
Let's just show you that Parrott block one more time, because sometimes you don't have to just completely blow up a defensive end. In fact, he was on his heels a little bit, but he tied up Karan Williams long enough that Marsh could bounce outside and recover. And then in a foot race with Eric Taylor, he'll win that.
Second and 6 after the 4-yard grab by Taylor. 99 yards passing for Lulay. And that one knocked down. Aaron Lavarius, part of that big surge. And was it Alan Michael Cash that got his hand on it?
Well, it's been a theme all night. I mean, early first quarter, pressure issues for Travis Lulay. You can see the guys that you talked in the interior there. Alan Michael Cash working with Moulton Hopkins.
Was Cash with the knockdown. 2 and out, right back into the hands of the Alouettes. Carrier at the 20. And a flag as he crosses the 30. We'll sort it out when we come back. 42-yard punt by McCallum. Tanner Marsh back to work. On time now for Nissan. This is our league. And last Saturday against Calgary, the BC Lions made a fashion statement, unveiling the new black-on-black uniforms. The third jersey, a big hit, not only in BC, but right across the league. Just ask Milt Stiegel. And most notable was that black matte finish on the helmets. They were so energized with the surprise new uniforms that came right out with an opening drive touchdown. Although the coach admitted yesterday it was a little tough to watch the film of the game. So he had trouble with the numbers too. Not just us beleaguered play-by-play guys.
Yeah. Tough to tell, just the outline of those numbers in orange.
Alouettes within 7. And once again on a roll, Tanner Marsh. And throws that one incomplete. And did he cross the line of scrimmage as a flag comes down after the throw from head linesman Don Cousins?
Legal forward pass. Montreal number 4. He was across the line of scrimmage when he threw the ball. Penalties decline. Second down.
Take 2nd and 10.
Midway through this third quarter.
It's the same part of the field where Tanner Marsh just hit Arlen Bruce. Now, Ryan Phillips has returned to play his halfback spot to the field.
2nd and 10. Pocket collapsing. Marsh steps up. Gets away. What a move. And he's up to the 35-yard line.
Well, we know he can run now. I mean, he showed it a little bit on the speed on that touchdown run. Got outside. Well, what a shake. Just take a look. The pocket collapses around him. Good push up the middle from Brandon Jordan. Now watch the move on Solomon Elamimian. Puts the brakes on, changes direction. Woo!
6 carries, 55 yards. That was a 16-yard run. The mobility, something we wasn't advertised as being that good, but
no. I mean, you know, Jim Popp talked very highly of both quarterbacks. He felt real excited about the playing possibilities of Tanner Marsh. Said he's a guy with great leadership qualities, but didn't mention that he's got those shakes and moves in the open field.
Just thinking back to Adam Bighill, had Zach Collaros a couple of times, and there was Elamimian burned by another youngster. Second and long, pressure on, slings it, jump ball, and Arlen Bruce wins a battle. Pulls it down, there is a flag. As Arlen Bruce comes up with the catch, working against J.R. LaRose. So he's got veteran receivers selling out for the young quarterback.
Well, absolutely, and Arlen Bruce, that introduction has paid off because Tanner Marsh is looking for him.
At the end of the play, major foul, face mask. BC number 27, 15 yards, first down.
So it is a face mask against the Lions safety LaRose.
J.R. LaRose still looking for his first interception of his career. And part of all about 100 games in the Canadian Football League. Now, didn't start all those games. A lot fewer than that, actually, but still looking for his first pick and has trouble playing the ball there. Looks like he overran it, and then he tried to recover and got the face mask of Bruce.
Bruce, 4 catches, 108 against his old team, and that pass almost picked. Corey Banks trying to tie Ryan Phillips again on the all-time list.
He's got to know. I mean, he must know because he's been jumping routes. That was the second one that he almost took to the house. It looked like the timing was pretty good from Tanner Marsh, too. Just 1, 2, 3 throw, and that's just good defense.
Twice 10 interceptions in a season for Banks, who says Phillips has an unfair advantage as a DB while he's now a Sam linebacker. Phillips not very sympathetic.
I'm not either.
Second and 10, pressure on. Marsh takes off again. And he'll be tripped up at the 38-yard line. He's very close to a first down. Looks like he has come up a yard short, if that.
Well, and what I like about this one is that Marsh is going to run here up as the pocket collapses again. He's going to run up into the pocket in the middle, and he's got his eyes downfield. Almost decided to throw it there. Didn't like what he saw. There was coverage too close, so he took off and tucked it again.
Mike Benavides mentioned yesterday that he was a little disappointed his defense wasn't going to play Anthony Calvillo. Well, this is an element that he wouldn't have had to deal with Calvillo. Tanner Marsh's escapability and mobility has been impressive. And it's a chain link short. But that should be an easy decision for Jim Popp.
Well, and Marsh was the short yardage quarterback. So if Montreal brings in the short yardage team, which it looks like they are, with that showing of the double bicep
jumbo team.
That's the jumbo team, so Marsh will stay on the field.
So it's far from done, but through 2 quarters of Tanner Marsh, you're getting flashes of Bo Levi Mitchell and Zach Collaros. More Collaros, though, right? The mobility and there's that plunge for a first down.
Well, you're right, Chris, and it's caught again. The BC Lions. I've seen a couple of plays now where Karan Williams, one of the best in the business at defensive end, has lost that containment. And Marsh has been able to make a move, bounce outside. That great move he made in the open field on Solomon Elamimian. We haven't heard much from Karan Williams here tonight as he tries to get his alignment corrected so that he can stay wide enough to keep Marsh in that pocket.
All the focus this week was to not let it be a repeat with Nicewander of Zach Collaros in Toronto, and they had Nicewander's number early, but they've had trouble with the second young Montreal quarterback.
It's been his mobility. His mobility has slowed down the pass rush a little bit. He was fearless in the long throw to Bruce from deep in his own end, and he's now given his defense a nice rest on the sideline in this third quarter because this one started deep in their own end.
Again, a team that had 9 third-quarter points in the first 7 games has put 14 on the board in this third quarter against the tough BC defense. Second and long here, and again more pressure. Flushed again, and throws behind the intended target, S.J. Green, as the drive stalls.
Well, that's one that when Marsh watches this back tomorrow, he's going to say, okay, that's a mistake, and I got away with a mistake here, because he's rolling to his left eventually. He's got to scramble around, move around, bounces out to his left, and then tries to throw it against the flow of his body to a receiver going the opposite direction with Big Hill coming after him and Solomon Elamimian from the right there for the interception if he does try and get it to S.J. Green.
Like he was trying to throw around Big Hill and had a little too much on it. Well, White's miss from 46 costly. Brown awaits from 42 yards out. Sean White's got this one. Now a 4-point BC lead as we check in with John Liu.
Thank you, Chris. Well, you mentioned that Mike Benavides said that he had trouble trying to scout his own team because of those uniforms, but one of his former players had the same issue a couple of days ago. Arlan Bruce tweeting, the BC Lions should be fined the maximum amount due to whole staff violating uniform policies. We as a team, the Owls, can't watch film properly. This from the self-styled Spider-Man, who's incurred at least a few fines along the way for his wardrobe violations in his 12-year career, but it wasn't all bad. Bruce gave the uniforms a 9 out of 10 for stylishness, and they've been a huge hit in BC. The Lions can't keep enough of those jerseys in stock.
So he wanted them fined for using them because he couldn't watch them on film, but he ordered one. Ordered one for the offseason. Meanwhile, the BC Lions offense has just lost all traction altogether in this second half. 3 offensive plays for BC in the second half. They just cannot get going. And Travis Lulay just under 100 yards in basically 3 quarters of work.
Brown from the 14. And he gets across the 30 and the 32. Travis Lulay in the offense will try and get some traction here in the second half.
Well, they've got to get some better play up front. Give Travis Lulay a little more time, or Jacques Chapdelaine can possibly get him out on the perimeter. Some rollouts. Take that shotgun snap, sprint left or right, get off the tackle, try and move the launch point so he maybe can buy another second or 2 to throw it, but he just hasn't had the time in there to settle in nicely.
I don't know if you want him running like Tanner Marsh, but he is capable of it, and we have not seen him rush the football much in the last few weeks.
Yeah, his number's down.
There's the rollout, and throwing into the flat, Courtney Taylor a catch, and Chip Cox is there to bump him out.
Well, that's what Jacques Chapdelaine decides to do, get him out on the edge away from the pressure, and that's one way to help. You talked about his running, Chris. It has been down of late. Travis Lulay in the last couple of games, his average has dropped running the football. But you get him outside. Now he's got the option. First, it cuts the field in half receiver-wise, but he gets him away from pressure. He's got the option to run, finds a target out there, and hits him.
Third catch for Taylor, who made that great layout catch in the first half.
There's the run yards difference for Lulay.
1st and 10 from the 42. And it's John Gore trying to get outside and really unable to turn it upfield. Shea Emery was there to disrupted.
BC fans a little concerned with their star quarterback in Travis Lulay, coming off a 3-interception game. Now, one of those was a Hail Mary at the end, so really count that one. However, it was the first of his career. Hasn't thrown for 300 yards in 12 games now. Now, 9 of those games, the BC Lions have won. And he told us yesterday he'll take the wins over yardage and stats, but he's got to get this offense going. This is a big down.
2nd and 7. Here they come, and Lulay overthrows Iannuzzi. He was just trying to get rid of it with Shea Emery bearing down.
Well, and it looks like protection-wise, again, do they have enough to block? Because Shea Emery's coming right through, and he shoots the gap. Does Andrew Harris? I'm not sure his assignment here. He's got to step to the outside, and he leaves the direct path to the quarterback for Shea Emery as he steps to the outside. I think it's on Bruyette on the outside to block him. Emery's free. They didn't have enough to block them all.
And McCallum just got that away. Short kick fielded by Carrier on a bounce, and he gets eased out by Keenan Parker. And so Marsh with a chance to cut into this lead and perhaps seize it on this series.
I'm wondering if the Ottawa Red Blacks have got voodoo dolls on the starting quarterbacks in the Canadian Football League so they can see all the backups this year as they get ready for the expansion draft. Here's a little running ability of the young Tanner Marsh.
Well, we talked to Jim Popp, who told us he really hasn't thought about his protection list, but he has the luxury of probably not having to protect his number 1 quarterback, Anthony Calvillo. Pass downfield, and S.J. Green can't bring it in. An overthrow by the youngster, and a missed opportunity there.
Well, you start to wonder when we were going to see a little of the inconsistency that you normally see from young quarterbacks, although some of the young ones in the league, like Bo Levi Mitchell and Zach Collaros, as you talked about, Chris, came out of the gate on fire, but that one just out of the reach of S.J. Green. Did get behind coverage. It's been a quiet night for Green.
By the way, Anthony Calvillo turns 41 tomorrow. Marsh going to take another shot for Bruce. He's got it. Arlen Bruce inside the BC 40, haunting his old team.
I asked Arlen Bruce yesterday if it was time once again to bring out my nickname for Arlen, which is Bruce Almighty. He said, no, not even close. He says, I got to get going here. And he said, I asked him about, well, what about the fact that you don't have AC? He said, I'm not too worried. I've had about 15 quarterbacks in my career. I've got a bunch of young ones. He started to list them all off. He said, I'm kind of excited to see what these young guys can do.
Little piece of history just moved into the top 10 all time with that catch, and S.J. Green can't make that one with Ford Parks in the neighborhood. S.J. Green does have a touchdown catch in the game, but it's been quiet. Arlen Bruce making the most noise among the receivers for the Alouettes. 4-point BC lead after 3. There are the numbers through 3 quarters of a game that gets even closer.
Seems that Tanner Marsh doesn't know any better. So he's just slinging it deep. Arlen Bruce in coverage comes up with a big catch. He's got 143 yards receiving against his former teammate. The BC Lions getting surprised again by a young quarterback.
So Marsh over 200 yards passing in 2 quarters against the stingiest pass defense in the league. That's a statement.
Absolutely. That hadn't given up over 200 yards this season. They were below 200 yards on average, that BC defense. So again, it's likely that Tanner Marsh just doesn't know any better, hasn't read the stats on the BC Lions, and is saying, hey, I got a pretty good receiver in number 1. I'm going to throw it up to him and see what happens. Big game for Arlen Bruce.
Bruce with 5 catches, 143 yards, passing Brian Kelly on the all-time list, 2nd and 10. And Arlen's going to add to his totals. Taken down by J.R. LaRose at the 25, but it's another Alouette first down. Well, it's a statement game for him. And for number 4 as well so far.
Quick read, sees Arlen Bruce come out of the backfield. He just sits down, no linebackers in sight, and drops it off to Bruce.
Two backs, Laballa first man through, and the rookie running back with a couple of yards. But into select company on the all-time list.
Top 10, passing Brian Kelly. For Arlen Bruce, all tonight. When I looked at 133 is what he needed to get into the top 10 tonight, I thought, well, you know, I have a feeling Bruce may have a big game. He was excited about these young quarterbacks, and I didn't know it would be 133. He's past that now.
13-year veteran, 6 1,000-yard seasons, and his biggest of 2013 is tonight. Here's a pass for Green. Went down, but can't dig it out. A low throw to S.J. Green, and Marsh and Green have had trouble getting on the same page here.
Well, they have, and Arlen Bruce was wide open and was a little frustrated there. He was the under guy, and I know Marsh wanted to go deeper here to S.J. Green, but he had Arlen Bruce under, and over the top was S.J. Green. That ball just a little low and outside. Made a catch in Saskatchewan similar to that, but he made the catch.
He's made a few of those.
Oh, he has.
His 7 years with Montreal. So they'll settle for the field goal attempt from 30 yards out. White gets it in to get them within one. Got a good one going in Montreal. 28-27 BC. CFL on TSN is brought to you by GMC. We are professional grade. Well, based on the historic records between these two teams, we shouldn't be surprised. Each of the last 6 games here in Montreal between the two clubs has been decided by 5 points. Lions have dominated games on the West Coast. Tim Brown with a return up close to the 40, but a flag on the play. As we await where Travis Lulay will start this next series.
Legal block, BC number 40. We'll go back 10 yards from where the ball was when the foul occurred. First down.
That's Tim Crock, and that pushes the ball all the way back to the 17.
And they should, the Montreal Alouettes should have a well-rested defense right now after that third quarter in the play of Marsh.
And that bench getting the fans revved up, try and cause a disruption for Lulay and a struggling Lions offense. Better protection, but nobody open, and now Lulay scrambling with Bowman in pursuit, and a big hit by Chip Cox.
Chip Cox could lay out on this hit because Bowman was in pursuit. Lulay's on the dead run, and usually a defensive linebacker is going to break down in the open field, make sure he doesn't miss. But with Bowman on this rush, he goes inside, and then he's going to chase down Lulay out here. Watch him bounce inside. Now he's in the trail spot, so Lulay can't cut back, and Cox knows it. Steps right in.
Leading tackler in the league. 56 coming into the game. 3 times he's had 10 tackles or more in a game this year. 2nd and 12. Andrew Harris bouncing around. And a flag down. They didn't get the play off.
One for the crowd.
So it's 2nd and long for Mike Benavides, and unless they've got a big play here, Alouettes are going to get the ball in great field position.
Prior to the ball being snapped, BC called a timeout.
Okay,
called a
they
timeout.
do avoid the penalty. So, but alert play at the bench to bail out the offense, and save what would have been a costly penalty.
Yeah, I took a quick look to the 20-second clock. It had run out. And Mike Benavides saw that as well, called a quick timeout, saved the penalty.
Just got it.
But in a one-point game, a Burt timeout.
And the noise at Percival Molson. Here they come. Lule gets it away, and Arsenault with a clutch grab at the 30 and a first down in front of Jeff Tisdale.
What a throw by Travis Lule. He gets hit hard, and he's saying to the official, that was a shot to the head. Let's take a look. I'm not sure which number. The Alouettes line up on the line of scrimmage, and they are sending the house.
Michael Klassen.
And Lule got up saying that he threw it in there, took the hit to complete this pass.
That's a huge play for the Lions. Gets them out of the hole. Only their second first down of the second half. To the sidelines, back into the hands of Arsenault.
Well, that's why this guy his teammates will follow him through a brick wall, because he takes hits like that. Travis Lule is going to get a shot here, and he knows it. Just before he's going to throw, he sees Klassen coming, and there's no way to avoid it but to throw it and take it. And that rocked him.
As big a play as they've had tonight on offense. So back-to-back first down catches by Manny Arsenault. First down up at the Lions 41. Pressure on again. And he ducks and chucks and throws it away.
Well, this time he didn't have an open receiver. Nick Moore was well covered on the play by Gerald Brown, who over the last couple of weeks has been an all-star. He's step for step with Nick Moore here. And he takes away the inside first. Moore goes to the corner. Nice contact there, plays physical. No way that Travis Lule could try and fit it in there.
Nick Moore without a catch on the night. Another second and long.
Brown's going over to get him again.
Bliet showed blitz, now backs away, and another time count. And this time no timeout. And Shea Emery exhorting more from the Alouette fans.
Thanks the crowd for that one. This Montreal defense so far tonight, 4 sacks, 6 hits on Travis Lule, 2 hurries, 3 pass deflections.
You know, they lead the league in takeaways. They're third in yards, third in quarterback sacks. So despite the record, this Alouette defense has been tough all season long. Second and 15. Lule looking for Arsenault one more time, and it's too strong, and a late hit on the quarterback's going to keep this drive alive for BC.
Well, Jeff Tisdale had a better shot at that football than Manny Arsenault. Looked like they just communication problem.
Roughing the passer, Montreal number 91. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Low hit on Alan Michael Cash. That is the 8th roughing the passer penalty this season against the Owls.
Well, and this one, even though it looks like Cash is going to trip a little bit and be falling into Lule, you just cannot hit the quarterback low. He trips, goes down low, and that's why he gets called on the penalty. It doesn't matter if you trip or not or get pushed into him.
So the Lions have worked it to the 51 through a couple of clutch plays and a penalty. And now launch downfield. Jump ball, and he's got it. Nick Moore out fighting Billy Parker for it. There is a flag and likely interference on Billy Parker.
And Lule took another hit, so add 1 to the total there, and he's pumped up and getting his team pumped up.
38 yards.
And Alan Michael Cash now is got to be a little concerned because this Montreal defense.
Forward pass interference. Montreal was 17. Penalties declined. Completion of the pass was better. First down.
So Moore's catch, his first of the game, is a big one.
Decline the penalty, take the play. You see them. They're okay right now, battling.
So the Lions on the prowl here. First and 10 at the Al's 21. Pressure off the edge. Lule hit and the ball incomplete.
Gerald Brown.
And they unloaded on Lule that time.
Well, they have just sent the house. I mean, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, or excuse me, Montreal Alouettes, my next week's game's already, Montreal Alouettes are sending the house. I mean, they are absolutely full out blitzing. And you just can't block them all. Lule's got to have some read routes where hot receiver can get open quickly. He can get the ball out of his hands before the free man gets there.
Been a great drive. Lions trying to finish it.
Well, there's confusion now.
Clock running down on them again. They get it off. No. Nope. Flag's down and the play is stopped. Snap just after the 20-second clock drain.
Time count violation. BC number 14. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
So second time on the drive, and it would have been 3 had it not been for a coach's timeout.
Well, the Owls are putting everyone on the line of scrimmage, Chris. I mean, it's so tough for Andrew Harris right now to figure out exactly who he's got to pick up with protection, but I can give him a hint. Take the most dangerous, which is usually the guy right down the middle.
Second and 15. They're down to 5 seconds again. Just get it away. Lule's got time into the end zone and too strong for Sean Gore. Incomplete, and the drive stalls there.
Yeah, it looked like Sean Gore read something, went to the middle. He broke off his route, and Lule thought he was going to continue down the seam. Crowd a little bit of a factor here as they make it difficult for the BC Lions to get the plays called in and out of the huddle.
And yet some progress for the offense.
Yep.
Here in the fourth quarter.
Penalty aided by Alan Michael Cash on the late hit. The Montreal defense was off the field if not for that hit.
So McCallum looking for his 5th field goal of the night from 33 out. And it is now a 4-point BC lead, 31-27. But Arlen Bruce and the Montreal Alouettes aren't done yet. Their football when we come back. Sunday live from Brooklyn, there's no sleep till the 2013 MTV Video Music Awards with performances by Robin Thicke, Miley Cyrus, Kanye West, Justin Timberlake, and more. Lady Gaga kicks off the VMAs Sunday at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific on MTV. So a 4-point game, 9 minutes left, fourth quarter. Tanner Marsh, look out! Oh, he is nailed back at the 25-yard line. Bounces up after a big hit. There's Bream Smith on the scene again.
Yes, he is, and he gets in there when Tanner Marsh elects not to go with the hitch. He has a hitch pass out here, and a wide-open Arlen Bruce decides against it, wanted to go deeper, and didn't have the time to get that done and took a big one because of it. Most consistent rush end in the CFL this year. Kareem Smith, and that's with his teammate Karan Williams on the other side.
So second and a bunch. Marsh flushed, takes a look behind him and picked off. Corey Banks has tied Ryan Phillips. And Banks has his 36th career interception, coming up on the lip a bit.
He was close all night. You just had the feeling that Corey Banks was going to get one.
Barely you can get picks from the Sam linebacker spot. And a veteran initiates a rookie quarterback.
Well, again, Tanner Marsh is now trying to look for the big play. Looked down to the sideline, thought he could move the chains with S.J. Green, who he's just not had chemistry with all night long. But Corey Banks, it was almost as if Marsh released that knowing he was in trouble and kept running to try and make the tackle.
Banks making his way slowly to the sidelines, a little on the limp. Bill Rochelle out to see if he's okay. First interception of the year for him to match Phillips. For the fourth turnover of the game by Montreal, the Lions have had 3 field goals on the first 3 BC takeaways.
See if we get some more Montreal pressure here. Everybody on the line of scrimmage and see if Lule can handle it.
At the 29, quickly into the hands of Gore. Got some running room. First down, Gore, touchdown. Sean Gore, they're going to mark him out. It is a BC Lion touchdown.
Nice play call to get the ball out of Lule's hands quickly. That offensive line, running backs, fullbacks having problems getting that protection down, taking the pressure away from Lule. So the way to get around that is to get it out quickly. Little bubble screen to Sean Gore, and he gets there.
Cox unable to prevent the touchdown. So Gore has 2 in the game, 4 on the year. And it's a 2-score game as Travis Lule thumbs up after what's been a rocky game. The Lions have a little breathing room here midway through the fourth quarter.
Essentially 4 receivers as they run that screen to Gore, and you're going to get a couple of nice blocks. One by Manny Arsenal right at the point of attack. That allows Sean Gore to get the football in his hands. And I want to show you one from wide receiver Nick Moore. Right at the top of your screen. Watch Moore run his man off. And now he's going to stop. See, Gore has it, trying to get the edge, and pops right there. Safety Mike Edom to allow Gore to get the corner and get that end zone.
So one play after the Banks interception, and now a 2-score lead for the Lions, 11-point advantage. Here's Carrier shifting gears, and off he goes. Tyrod Carrier inside the 25, bumped into Delorier, but he'll score. And just like that, they're back in it.
Come on.
90 yards. Tyrod Carrier, second kick return, touchdown of the year.
Gotta be kidding me. He could go. He was running up the back of his blockers a couple of times on that return.
Only guy that almost stopped him was Eric Delorier.
Lanes. Adam Bighill gets spun around by Patrick Lavoie. That gives him a chance. And watch Delorier, he runs right up the back of him here saying, get out of the way.
Tied the NCAA record for kick return touchdowns in Houston. And for the Lions, it's Houston. We still have a problem.
Second kick return touchdown of the game here tonight. One from Tim Brown, one from Carrier. Short-lived celebration on the bench for Travis Lule.
And now the Alouettes conferring. I think they will send the offense on for the 2 points and make it a 3-point game.
BC defense slow to get out there. Corey Banks still is limping on his way to the defensive huddle. He's often in charge of covering that third receiver out. In this game, it's been Arlen Bruce. He's still working a Charlie horse on his left leg.
Jim Pop mentioned yesterday, we've really only been out of 1 game, he said, and that was the last home game against Toronto. That was an embarrassment for them. But even with all the injuries, he feels like this is coming together. Most of lot of the injured players should be back soon. They've got 11 days till their next game. The Alouettes have made a statement the last couple of weeks. They're not a pushover, and the record might not be indicative of the damage they can do in the second half of the season. See what they do here, trying to get within a field goal on this two-point convert attempt. Marsh in trouble, and the ball comes loose, and it's still on the turf. And now it's kicked downfield. Lions could catch up with it and get to themselves. Still loose, got a little rugby game going here. And finally, the ball is dead as Christian Mack falls on it. And that's as wild a two-point convert attempt as you'll ever see.
Well, for all our viewers down in NBC Sports Network, all of what we just saw, I believe, is legal. Corey Banks tried to kick it a second time. I'm not sure who got the first kick, but you're allowed to dribble kick it forward.
On the play, the convert is no good.
You're allowed to dribble kick it forward and try and go score defensively, but there's the fumble. Now you can kick it. Now if it goes out of bounds, it goes back to Montreal.
Big Hill with the first kick.
And now Corey Banks tried to kick it to the end zone, which would be allowed as long as it doesn't go out of bounds. He missed it. Tried to fall on it. Montreal does. At the end of all of that, the convert's no good.
And in some difficulty at the bench after that, so that left leg continues to give the vet out of Mississippi State trouble.
A couple of big return touchdowns. Something that is one of the strong points of Canadian football, is to have some of these guys that maybe are a little undersized, play south of the border at times, but Carrier shows you that great speed. Little guy that plays big, and what a huge return for the Montreal Alouettes. Get him to within one possession.
78-yard punt return touchdown against Winnipeg, and a 90-yarder here.
Arkansas Tech, Tanner Marsh enjoying the return. Now Carrier went into the locker room for a second, came out, and he had to just adjust some equipment. He ran so fast, might have ran out of it. Some pops and buckles.
Just trying to get away from Delorier. Well, we've seen it from Tim Brown tonight.
Could we get three?
Boy, for a game that started as sluggishly as this one did, turned into a wild night in Montreal. Brown up to the 35, and still 6.5 minutes to go. So Lule, a one-play touchdown drive last possession, seems to be gathering some momentum. The previous possession, a field goal as they move the football downfield from deep in their own zone.
Well, they went to quick game on that screen to Sean Gore. We saw a little rollout. What's the game plan now from Jacques Chapdelaine?
Haven't seen a lot of Andrew Harris since early in the game. Using the full play clock again. Anybody home? Trouble, and Laverius will wrestle him down. Aaron Laverius chalks up his third sack of the year. Fourth sack for the Alouettes on the night.
Aaron Laverius tried to take the inside lane to allow Shea Emery out and around. Emery flushes Lule in the arms of 97.
Laverius out of Idaho, Wally Buono's old school.
The Vandals.
9-yard loss, second and 19. Here they come. Screen, Harris, Shea, Emery. Able to slow him up and usher him out. And the Alouettes get the stop they need to get the football back.
Lots of ways to try and beat blitz. Lots of ways to try and beat blitz. I'm not a big fan, although this is a second and long play. I'm not a big fan of taking your star receiver and Emmanuel Arsenault out of the passing game to make him a blocker. I know they've had all kinds of trouble against blitz, and the answer here was just to dump it to Andrew Harris, but he had too much ground to try and make up. I like the hot reads. Get Arsenault down the field, get him to it quickly.
Well, it's interesting because they got the offense going by getting it into the hands of Arsenault. Here's Carrier again. Oh! Bursting through. One man to beat. And Paul McCallum is able to upend him. A touchdown saving play by McCallum.
He can't believe it.
And neither can most of us here in the stadium.
I thought it was the hat trick. 3 returns in one game. Come on.
Open field and
McCallum.
That's a penalty.
Yeah, it is.
That should be a penalty. That's a trip.
And there's no flag on the field. It is a deliberate trip. They missed it. However,
saves a touchdown. 39 yards on the return. And the officials miss one. Double tight end formation. Jerome Messam, nothing doing. Karan Williams and Jabbar Westerman, who was a high school teammate of Jerome Messam with the Notre Dame Knights in Brampton, and there were a bunch of pro football players, NFL brother of Jabbar on that team, as well as one of the Kashava boys, all in one high school team.
Jabbar Westerman would be a starter on this defense for the BC Lions if they had a real strong Canadian backup defensive lineman. He rotates in now because of the Canadian ratio.
2nd and 9, flag down. Didn't look like that offensive line was set. Marshall take off, and Josh Bell and Adam Bighill bring him down at the 26-yard line. Like somebody on that offensive line moved prematurely.
And if that's the case, Tanner Marsh short of the first down.
Likely decline.
Exactly. Lions would decline that. 3rd down, and Corey Banks trying to get some help from the sideline along with Eric Taylor to try and find out what they want to decide to do here, make it 3rd down. Not sure Mike Benavides knew exactly how far Tanner Marsh advanced the ball.
Montreal number 9. That penalty's declined. 3rd down.
If they march back 5, it'd be the 36, and don't want to give them a free down in Lions territory anyway.
No, this
still be in White's reach, but
yeah.
So Sean White comes back out. This will be from about 35 yards out.
Josh Nicewander is the holder. Remember, he started the game at quarterback.
White 2 for 3. Trying to make it a 2-point game. And Sean White has drilled that. 38-36 with plenty of time on the clock. Well, the Craft Celebration Tour and Sports Center are on the road once again. Stop number 8 sees Jennifer Hedger and Darren Decision hitting the stage in Rocanville, Saskatchewan. Live coverage gets underway tomorrow at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific, right here on TSN. And the Decision Fan Club is here tonight.
Oh, I thought that would be the other. Yeah, no, never mind. Is that the Jennifer Hedger fan club or the?
Well, I just was thinking of some Yahoos, so I figured it'd be Dutch's group. I know where you were going.
I'm with you there, partner.
Well, either they're just drying out their clothes for the rain, or it's a full moon. Take your choice.
Well, we gotta finish.
We've had a lot of BC Montreal games like that, like this. I don't know why it is here in Montreal. These games are always a lot like this. Harris with the pitch, and he's going to lose yards. Andrew Harris swarmed, and it's another loss on 1st down, and that has been a frequent happening tonight for the Lions on offense.
Yeah, first down production has been really a nightmare all night long for this BC team. Put them in second and long again, and it's allowed Montreal to run their blitz package. And but for a few plays, Jacques Chapdelaine, tough to find the answer here. Again,
Montreal.
The Alouettes use a timeout before the 3-minute warning.
3:12 on the game clock. 3:12.
And now look for another 2 and out.
Second half, 5 times the BC Lions have lost yards on first down.
Timer, put 3:12 on the game clock.
Have to add 3 seconds to the clock as BC gets set to go 2nd and 12.
Now on 2nd and this long, Montreal doesn't necessarily have to go full blitz. They could show it, drop underneath, and force Lula to try and throw it underneath.
And Manny Arsenault is not staying in the block.
No, he's not.
It's Arsenault that hits right through his hands. Drop. That didn't take long. It's a 2 and out, and the Alouettes are going to get the ball back. Jim Popp looking for his first win of the year. Back on the sidelines. And Tyron Carrier gets set for liftoff once again. Kick return touchdown, almost a second.
Kick it away.
And he'll run up on this one, and it on a hop. Able to control that. No penalty, but great field position for the Alouettes. Up at the 47-yard line. It's a 2-point BC lead as we hit the 3-minute warning in Montreal.
Gotta let you know that Donna Homewood of Victoria, you have won the ultimate $25,000 home theater package from Visions Electronics, thanks to Safeway's touchdown to win. Congratulations, Donna. If another kickoff is returned for a touchdown tonight, in the final 3 minutes here, you could win $1 million. Back to the boys in the booth, Chris and Glenn.
Well, we're back in Montreal. It was 15-0 early BC. Now a 2-point lead. Alouettes have not led in the game downfield, and that one is intercepted. The intended target was D.L. Moore. He stumbled on the play, and there's the first CFL interception for Josh Bell.
Well, not only his first CFL pick, but that's his first pick in college football or the pros. Played 46 games at Baylor, did not have an interception there. And Josh Bell gets his first pick in college or pro football and will keep it.
Yes, he's not giving that back.
3 deep zone. He's the deep outside third defender. Plays it nicely. Just go to the football. I think Tanner Mars was trying to throw that away and didn't realize that Josh Bell had that kind of speed.
So back-to-back interceptions thrown by Marsh here. And the Lions get it back at their own 17-yard line. And off to Harris, right side. Gerald Brown stepped up, and Harris contained. Lavarius in on the tackle.
Gerald Brown read that play. This defensive play for Brown is executed because of his film work. He flew up there in a heartbeat. Watch how quickly he reads run and comes from the secondary here. 1, 2, 3, gone. Now watch him shoot the gap and is up in run support.
Put Kyrie Saber back in here. This is a scary D. Second down. Lule under pressure. And the pass incomplete. Lule under siege again. Moten Hopkins was there for the Alouettes, so they get another 2 and out.
You know, the way he went down, I thought that might have been a low hit on Travis Lule. Remember Alan Michael Cash hit Lule low that extended the drive. Let's take a look. If Moten Hopkins comes down low on him, now he's tripping too, but that is down or below the knees, and no flag.
Officials must have ruled that Matt Norman helped him down. Courtney Taylor over to talk to the quarterback. Carrier again. Awaiting McCallum's boot from the 42. And better cover by the Lions up to the 48. First game of this week, and hope it's a sign of things to come. We've got a big Grey Cup rematch tomorrow in Toronto. And a rematch of Winnipeg and Hamilton second straight week, and it wraps up with the Rough Riders against the Eskimos. Doubleheader Saturday. Mike Riley coming off 500-plus yards in his last start.
In a loss. But still a big, big game for Mike Riley as he continues to progress as the starting quarterback in Edmonton. Takes small steps forward every game.
Tanner Marsh trying to take another step here, and that pass from Messam out of the backfield incomplete, and suddenly the Alouettes offense has gone cold.
You know, pressure is interesting. You know, when the game gets tight and these young quarterbacks now have to handle this pressure. In this fourth quarter, Tanner Marsh is making those decisions a little bit slower rather than taking what, you know, the offense and the defense will give him and just dumping it off. He's trying to look for deeper balls. That's got him in trouble early in the quarter, and then through the pick on the last series.
And hasn't scrambled as much in the last few series. 2nd and 10. Stands in, throws, and that's intercepted. Corey Banks back on the field as another pick, 3 in a row against Marsh here in the fourth quarter. And Corey Banks has just moved ahead of Ryan Phillips once again on that little game within a game.
With 2 tonight, Karan Williams provides some pressure off the edge. He wants to melt this corner, as he calls it. Maybe rushes that throw a little bit from Tanner Marsh, and Corey Banks read his mail, just said, I'll take that. That's 2 tonight for 24. And back-to-back picks for Tanner Marsh. It's unraveling a little bit.
Yep, just got baptized by one of the best defensive players in the Canadian Football League. And there's also the master on the sidelines, Rich Stubler. Pitch to Harris. And Andrew down to the 47-yard line.
Well, they ranked number 1 against the pass. We've talked about that. Number 2 in points allowed. And once again, Rich Stubler has put together one of the top defenses in the league. I had a great talk with him yesterday. He's enjoying life. He said he wants to coach 10 more years. And in fact, he said, you know, I made some mistakes when I was a head coach in Toronto, but I'd love to get another opportunity one day.
Well, as good as it gets as a D coordinator, it looks like he's worked hard tonight. Andrew Harris, 23 yards on 9 carries, so he has been limited. 2nd and 5, flags down, and
high snap.
Harris brought down quickly, but were the Alouettes offside?
See what this flag is, but that snap a little bit high, took the timing a little bit away on that handoff to Andrew Harris. Like the refs giving the Lions the options, which would indicate an offside on Montreal.
Offside. Montreal, number 39. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Well, Gerald Brown jumped in there offside.
Well, he's been so quick tonight. Was he offside, or did he just appear offside? Nope. In that neutral zone.
So it's a first down for the Lions. Minute 24 left. Penalties costly for the Owls. From the 42, a little misdirection. Arsenault coming around, and he's going to get dropped for a loss. Another first down loss for BC. Chip Cox dropping Arsenault 6 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
With Montreal playing all those defenders, Chris, at the line of scrimmage, they're just stringing out all these fly sweeps by the Lions. You know they like to do them. Almost all the receivers have these fly sweeps at one time or another in games. but you see all the defenders on the line. There's just no hole for a receiver to pick through, so they string it out long enough for the pursuit to get there.
Well, that takes it out of field goal range as Lule surveys 2nd and 16. Rolls to his right. And he'll get cut down. Looked like that was a keeper all the way. And Chip Cox again with a tackle.
And it's not a chip shot field goal attempt now. In fact,
I don't think they've tried from outside 50.
No,
Timeout.
You're looking at
Montreal.
a 52-yarder.
Just
I don't
getting
think
the
they-
spot, yep, at the 45. It would be a 52-yard
No way.
field goal. And
No way. You don't try it from that distance, even with one of the best kickers in the game's history. And with the lead, you're going to punt this in the corner and make the young Tanner Marsh try and go the distance.
so now McCallum with the task of pinning the Alouettes. 2-point lead. See if Carrier's under instructions to let it go into the end zone. McCallum works the sideline. Flag comes down. And that ball out around the 10. Let's check the flag.
Game by Paul McCallum. A completion in the first half on a fake punt. A tackle on a return by Carrier that saves a touchdown. The points he's racked up.
Montreal number 52. We'll go back half the distance to the goal. First down.
It's a costly penalty too. It's against Nicholas Boulay, and so Marshfield gets even longer. They'll start at the 5. They have 49 seconds, 48.9 on the clock. And Sean White's longest on the year, 48.
14th penalty for the Montreal Alouettes, over 100 yards tonight.
So they have to move the football about 65 yards in under a minute.
Who's got Arlen Bruce?
From his end zone, Messam out of the backfield. And he'll get taken down around the 10. Elamimian there, along with Karan Williams, who's been busier in this second half.
Yeah, it's had a better fourth quarter here. Karan Williams getting some pressure, and Tanner Marsh with a couple of back-to-back interceptions. Josh Bell gets his first as a pro.
5 for Messam, 2nd and 5, 3-man rush, and the pass is incomplete. Just out of the outstretched fingertips of J.R. LaRose on the deflection. And it's now down to one play for the Alouettes to stay alive in this game.
Now, Tanner Marsh doesn't have to throw it 65 yards. But that's in triple coverage.
Going no huddle here, even though the clock stopped on the incompletion. 3rd and 5. Sets up over the middle. Delorier's got it. He's still on for the Alouettes.
Keeps it alive. Got time for 4 or 5 plays. Got to work the sideline here.
Lynn J. Shell with the tackle, but Eric Delorier has a drive extending catch. And Delorier can't make that grab. 3 catches, 44 on the night for Eric Delorier. It will be 2nd and 10. 21 seconds left. Trying to stop a 2-game losing streak. The Lions looking for a 3rd consecutive victory. BC's got Hamilton back-to-back next, while Montreal has Toronto back-to-back. Second and 10, steps up, throws, Arlen Bruce is there, and he'll hit the deck at the 46. 15 seconds left.
3 plays, if they're efficient, need about
25 yards now.
25 yards, gets them in field goal range. Work the sideline on the first play. Get it as quick as you can. Montreal's calling a timeout.
Lions are going to call the timeout.
Excuse me, Lions timeout, yeah.
BC.
Lions timeout. Give their defense a rest. Make sure they're clear now. That'll give Tanner Marsh a chance to call not only this play, but the next play if they're efficient with it. Call 2 plays in the huddle. They don't get out of bounds, and they wave it in. They can line them up quickly. Or you take one shot to field goal range here and have Tanner Marsh scramble around a little bit, try and find an opening, leave a couple seconds for the field goal attempt.
He has thrown 3 interceptions in the fourth quarter, but it really hasn't looked like he's been overwhelmed by the circumstances. See if he can pull it out. Flushed. Little sideline pass and dropped. D.L. Moore, who hasn't caught a pass in the game, fought that one and dropped it.
Well, he still would have been in the same dilemma even if Moore caught that on the sideline, because he's still out of field goal range, so he needs one play to get into it.
So 9.9 seconds remaining.
Lions secondary can't get too soft here.
You would think Green or Bruce would be the targets. Out of time, gonna air it out. Going deep, he wants Delorier. He's got it! Delorier with time on the clock. Marsh madness in Montreal. 57 yards.
He's just chucking it against the veteran Dante Marsh. And Delorier comes up with a big one.
6'4" against 5'10", and Eric Delorier makes as big a catch as he has made as a Montreal Alouette.
Tanner Marsh, after he threw it, saw Delorier catch it. Quick look to the clock. Saw he had time.
Now Sean White from 15 yards out. And it's a game winner, Montreal. Reports of the Alouette demise greatly exaggerated. An injury-plagued team come up with a big win. And they're going to be tough in the second half of the season. Tanner Marsh, another one of the young guns. And it's a 39-38 victory for the Montreal Alouettes. Not the young guy who started, but Marsh finishes it. Alouettes winners. So long from Montreal. SportsCenter is now.